All righty. Welcome everyone to the OG Social Network Podcast. I am Papa Dukes, and today I am very, very proud to welcome Reverend Gerlyn Henry from the Church, the Anglican Church of Canada. How you doing today, Miss
Hi
Reverend
there.
Henry? I just want to tell you, I know I was going to do some things first, but your time is of the essence, so we're going to go ahead, get started, and at the end, everybody, I'll let you know what's going on. If you have an op-ed, some other announcements going on, but first, let's go ahead and introduce Ms. Henry, who I think is probably one. I was more. I invited her, everyone, because of what I saw on her posts and her feeds. Her and I have the same like-minded ideology regarding Palestine and the world around us. Reverend Henry holds a. All right, hold on for a minute. So sorry about that, guys. And there we go. So basically, Reverend Henry holds a divinity from Columbia Seminary, an undergraduate degree in social work, and works at a local parish formed from three historic congregations during the pandemic. She also holds a deeply rooted heritage into her ministry of Indian origin and immigrant to Canada, bringing cross-cultural insight to her understanding of God's movement among us. Her ministry is formed by exploring what faithfulness looks like when shaped by marginality and inclusion. So yeah, this is like amazing to see you and to see the difference, because when everyone thinks of a pastor, a priest, or a reverend, they see a man. It's so refreshing to see a woman, and then a woman of color, and then a woman from another culture of color. So we're going to go ahead, for the listeners, we're just going to go ahead and, describe how your work, how you came to this calling. How did you get to this?
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for having me. That intro is like so moving to hear that about myself. Glad to be here. So I'm an Anglican priest in Toronto, and what we do is like church, Sunday morning church in a slightly more formal liturgical setting is kind of how we describe it. If you're a Catholic or kind of what Catholic churches look like from movies or from going to church, we're very similar, but then we're like the first church who broke out of the Catholic Church. My calling. So I think it started from when I was about 14 years old. There was this like really popular movement at the time called Not of This World, to say like, oh, I don't belong here. I belong to God. Heaven is my home. Earth is nothing. And I was like deeply in like a believer of that movement. Then I went to church one day and the pastor was talking about how like, you can die by accident. And sometimes when we say like, oh, I'll die for God, it's kind of a cop out. What really matters and what really calls us to like actually live in the world is to live, and not to like say, oh, I'll die whenever. Because to live, you need intentionality. And I remember like feeling like, you're right. If I want to make a difference in this world, if I want to be in this world, I need to live for something that matters to me. And at that time, like living for God made so much sense. And I didn't know what that would look like. But in time, that kind of navigated through undergrad and social work and realized that serving God and serving people is where that sweet spot met. And that emerged for me as the church.
Oh, wow, that is amazing. I do know that for many, how do you feel like about, the youth today, or how the church at one time had everyone went, now it's really going down, the population of attendance. How do you feel about that going on? Is it happening in Canada as it is happening here in the United States?
Yes. Like, yes, we're leaving and losing our youth. Our youth are leaving the church. But like whenever people reach out to me to say, like, I haven't been to church in like years or decades, I remind them about this quote I heard from this guy named Rhett McLaughlin. He says, our young people aren't leaving the church because they're not faithful. they're leaving the church because we taught them the words of Jesus, the words that are inclusive and welcoming, and they realize that the church isn't living up to those values. The church isn't living up to those words. So them leaving at this point and in the decades past, I think it's a deep act of faithfulness to say, like, this institution doesn't share the values that I was raised to believe, the values of justice and welcome. And I think in that departure, though it's sad because I miss seeing young people in church, I think
Mm,
there's deep, deep faithfulness.
mhm, mhm. Deep faithfulness in a more spiritual sense, or like we're all finding our own divinity. You know what I mean? Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah. I think faithfulness, I think I mean like it is righteous, like it is the right thing to do. And just because like kids and young people aren't in church doesn't necessarily mean they don't believe in God or believe in like the spirit of God moving in the world. I think young people are some of the most like spiritual people in our world today. They just don't associate with institutions as much. And so their departure from institution reminds us older folks, those who remained in the institution, that like they're living by the values of God.
Mhm. When did you first sense a call to the priesthood, and what was the moment like for you?
Hmm. I think like it started at 14, right? It started in that young, I want to serve God, serve God's people. But then as I grew older, I think I felt like I wanted to be a professor or I wanted to do something very academic. And then I started hanging out with real people, and especially in undergrad. I had a lot of my placements in like sex trafficking and children who couldn't afford to go to school in slums. And
Mhm,
I realized that like if I needed to serve God, I needed to know the margins, people on the outskirts, people that those in the center look at and say, ew, you don't really belong in the church. And
mhm,
learning to see God in those spaces helped me see God in the church. And so that's when the kind of church became the place instead of like a seminary or a university.
mhm. And were you raised within the Anglican tradition, or did your faith, journey take you to this path before arriving here?
I was raised in it. They call us cradle Anglicans. So like I was baptized when I was a few months old, and I've
Right.
lived as an Anglican my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was there a specific experience, a person, or a challenge that clarified your call?
Hmm. I'd say in some ways it was my dad. So like
Ah,
uh after I sensed my and he was also my greatest like challenger. After I sensed my call as 14, like I wanted to do an undergrad in like liberal arts, like religion studies. And he
mhm,
said, absolutely not. I am not paying for you to go to undergrad if you're going to spend your whole life in like the box of religion. And I
mhm,
remember thinking like, man, you don't love God. Like God's going to be so angry at you for not letting me do this. And he said, like, the world will not care about what you have to say if you don't know what's in the world. If all the
mhm.
answers you provide about God are just about God, it's not going to be relevant. And like looking back, I think it was so helpful. If I had done undergrad in religious studies, I wouldn't be the kind of priest and person I am now.
Mhm. So how long you been a priest now? A priest.
3 years on my own, 5 years under someone else.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
Oh
You
gosh.
were, yeah. What does that mean? Tell me.
To,
Uh,
to It's such a long process. So like from the time so to be a priest, you have to have a master's degree. So like it's a
mhm,
4-year undergrad, a 3-year master's. And then there's 2 years of like interviewing where they kind of discern as a diocese if you're actually called to be a priest. And then
mhm,
after those 2 years, they say, okay, we sense that you have a call and we want to support you in that. And then they put you under somebody else who's already been a priest for a long time. And then after those 2 years, we're finally given our own parish. I think
Oh,
the
so
church,
it's like going through an apprenticeship, and then
yeah,
you're a journeyman. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yes. Oh, no, no. Just saying it takes forever because the church has been such a place of like pain for so long. So I think we're really careful and like who we put out as priests these days.
Oh
That's a
man,
journey.
I got to tell you, when I saw your post and saw what you're doing, it's just very inspirational to see, people involved uh, in not only their spiritual journey, but also being involved in community and in politics and life.
Mm.
And so many young people describe themselves as spiritual, but not religious. How do you understand the shift?
Yeah, like institutions, like churches and temples, do not give us the whole picture of who God is. And like
Hmm.
for so long, I think we've convinced the world that like it is only through the church that you can find God, or it's only through this like particular way of understanding God that you can be saved. And I think like that's a fallacy. It's not real. It served us poorly. It's been used to control nations and then control like mass genocides, right?
Hmm.
Colonization, transatlantic trade. We're all like rooted in this idea that it is only through one church you can find salvation. So I think like when people, both young and old, kind of depart from this understanding of religion, institutional, structured religion, but still have an understanding of like spirituality that I can still commune with God outside of the pews and outside of the steeple. I think like I see so much value in that. There's a lot of value also in like coming and having that community of the church, but in times when the church has been a painful place or at least an irrelevant place for some, being spiritual is great. To
Hmm.
believe that there's still God out there and that like in community with people we experience holiness. I think there's a lot of value there.
What would you, from your perspective, what are young people seeking that they may not be finding in traditional religious
Mm.
spaces? Because a lot of them don't feel they're in a safe space,
Yeah.
even those, and many across the board. And plus,
Yeah.
we're hearing a lot of strange stories between adults and children.
Right.
What do you think? Again,
Mm.
what do you think they may be finding traditionally in religious spaces?
I think a lot of young people are looking for honesty, like for their pastors and people who go to church to be honest about their own struggles and their own places of failure. They're looking for relevance, like what's happening in the world and why does this matter to me? And for community, right? Like I remember this, like one of the first times we had this like young person just show up to the church and she wanted to be a volunteer. And like I loved it. I was like, yes, stay with me forever. And like a couple of weeks in, like it was right after like October 7th and like the world was unfolding. And she kind of asked me casually as we were doing something, like, what do you think about Gaza? And at the time, like I had received a lot of pushback already about using the word
Hmm.
genocide and just
Hmm.
calling out Israel. And so the first feeling that I felt was like fear. Like I was thinking to myself, like, what if she doesn't support Palestine? What if I say something and she leaves? But then I ended up catching myself and telling her, like, yeah, I believe in the liberation of Palestine and I don't believe in occupation. And like that was so important to her. She revealed to me later that like that was her stay or leave point. That if we as a church were able to vocalize, like we were on the side of liberation, then this was the place for her. But so many churches never talk about it. Like haven't mentioned Gaza once in 3 years. Haven't
Right,
mentioned George Floyd
right,
after
right.
his murder.
Yeah, and I think that's the next question I wanted to ask you. Where do you think the church has struggled to connect with younger generations? For me, it's I will tell you this. Uh, I was I first experienced Palestine, 1969.
Wow.
Okay, so it was the CBS News, and I remember seeing the PLO training young kids, but a lot of people didn't understand at that time, well, that they weren't as woke as we are today regarding world politics, world geopolitics, and what's going on. That they were fighting for their freedom against colonizers and oppressors, because for years, many people presumed to think that Israel and Zionism was a religion and it's not as a political ideology. Then on top of that too, many of the people there were not natural Middle Eastern, from that area. They were from Eastern Europe. So again, where do you think the church has struggled to connect with the younger, generation?
Papa Dukes, I'm so sorry. I just realized I got my time wrong, and my meeting is started 6:30 and not 7.
Oh,
I feel awful. I feel awful.
no
Um
worries, no worries. If you want, we can reconnect.
yes, please.
Everyone understands. My fans understand. We have to do
Oh,
things over again. So what you're going to do is you're going to send me
okay.
a date and a time,
Oh,
and
okay.
I will be more than happy to reconnect, and we'll do a small part 2 real quick. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry.
No,
This
it's
was my
life. Life is life, and I can't
okay.
hold that against you. It's all
Okay.
good. It's all
Okay.
good. But
I
I
really
want
appreciate that.
you on in the next 3 days, so we don't
Yes.
lose the momentum.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. All right. So
Okay.
everyone, we're going to let Reverend Gerlyn go. She's got to go take care of some people. We're going to come back with her in the next couple of days, and we'll continue this conversation. Thank you, Gerlyn. You
Thank
make
you.
sure I want to hear from you soon. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. So I pressed the remove real quick too soon. I wanted her to get to her um, um, meeting, and that's all good. Sometimes when we have these shows, we start getting into the groove, and shit happens. But it's all good because I do have something very important I do want to talk about. But let's give some real quick mentions. Real quick, I do want to give some mentions, man. Let people know what's going on. Happy New Year to everyone. The season 2 of the OG Social Network podcast kicks off January 22nd at Silk Road and High Function Event Space. We will be celebrating my 62nd birthday, and everyone is invited to stop by, say hello. I will be interviewing, in fact, I think in person, Megan O'Malley will be coming in from Bake Sales Sessions podcast, and I'm also going to be interviewing Lola Bastinado from the Brooklyn Botanist, and I just want to be able to show appreciation to everyone that's followed us in the last year. We are going to just have an amazing 2026. First things first, I wanted to let everyone know you can now go to the website, theogsocialnetwork.com. We are now up and running. I am going to, there's just so much going on. For the last 2 or 3 days, I have been like all over the place, upgrading and putting this together. I do have so much going on. Please follow the podcast. Last week or a couple weeks ago, I had Kathleen Baru on. We have the special birthday podcast that'll be with Megan O'Malley and Lola Bastinado. Plus special guests will be at Silk Road. You could come on down. The invite is on Partiful. You don't even need an invite. You can just come on, hit Silk Road at 166-30 Jamaica Avenue. So, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that day, sharing it with Shohan and the family, and being able to just celebrate the new year that's coming. But I'm going to take you all now on a commercial break. Okay, and I'll be right back.
For too long, cannabis branding relied on outdated stereotypes. We're here to change that. Jadestone is a woman-owned, strategy-first creative agency, building brands that stand out, resonate, and perform. With white glove service and meticulous attention to detail, we transform ideas into bold identities and memorable experiences. From brand strategy and visual identity to packaging and dispensary design, every touchpoint is intentional, refined, and crafted to make your brand unforgettable. Let's create something extraordinary together.
Social Network podcast. He came on last week and committed to the podcast, and I really, really appreciate him so much. Sohan has been probably one of in the last year, really 2 years, known him for 2 years now, since he's opened the store. But in the last year, he supported the podcast in so many ways, and I have to give him love. This year, he will be a part as a producer. His commercials will be on. We'll be featuring him, and also too to let y'all know, we did. I did do some amazing stuff with this. If you go to the OG Social Network podcast and hit press, you will be able to see features of different articles we wrote, and definitely one of them is Sohan and trends. I have so many things that came out today on this podcast, on this website, and that's all we've been doing. We've just been setting up, making sure everyone gets to, really just gain more information on the podcast, on the people. I am just very thankful that that I am able to get all of this out to you guys. So go to the ogsocialnetwork.com and you can find out about events. New York State Canna Farms Tour will be kicking off, I hope, in April or May. We want the outdoor grows. They're just beautiful. You'll be able to partner with us and go to press to read any of the articles and podcasts. You can also see those as well. You can subscribe and even donate. Donate is some. We're on GoFundMe now. I definitely need help. We want to be able to reach $50,000 in 6 months for operations costs, travel, expenses. We're talking about consulting fees. It's a lot to run this, especially when we go to events. And I need to make sure that we have. We need to make sure we have the videographer, photographer. Those people are really needed when doing these type of events and getting out quality products, quality, video like this. I am blessed to be able to do this and continue to make it so. Again, for those of you that just came on, my apologies about Reverend Gerlyn Henry. She got her times mixed up. She had to go take care of. We are going to meet up with her in the next couple of days to continue the conversation and be more laid back. I hope. The interview was going very well, but unfortunately, she had to kick off and take care of her people. So I do want to say that it's been a really strange week. But before I do go off on that, I definitely want to give a big shout out to our sponsors and there's so much going on, y'all. Especially in America. I'm just losing my brain right now. But we are able to see that it's just there's going to be a big fight ahead. But I do first want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors that have come on this year for the second season. Produce Force 20, David and Don Morris, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Green Spectrum's CBD, Michael Fertucci, Joanna Fertucci, they're up there in Hopewell Junction, probably one of the better processing facilities for CBD and THC products. I do have Surfside, Myers Security, Jadestone Branding, Silk Road, Sohan, thank you so much, new producer for the 2026 season. I give Gordon Weinstein a big shout out. I love him. He's doing, he's going to be getting into podcasting himself as well. And is going to, probably one of the, it's going to get like into, I think, life coach, health and wellness, very good stuff. Webot Distributors, thank you so much. And Event High, appreciate you. I appreciate you. So yeah, we are going to be, as we move forward, I do have something I really want to talk about real quick before we go. And I just want to be able to discuss something that's been on my mind really now for the last few days. It's been kind of crazy, I think, what's been going on and what has happened. And I am very, concerned about our country. It's kind of hard to imagine, what it is we're going through as a country. And I am very concerned as I'm heading into my 62nd year. I've seen this country go from, one thing to another. And it's something that I'm very concerned about. So, it's not something I want to be able to have my children have to go through. This op-ed, the title's This Week's Reckoning, ICE Raids, Police Violence, Government Dysfunction, and the Rage That's Tearing America Apart. Relax, relate, release. That's what we say on this podcast. But this week, I'm finding it hard to do any of those things. And if paying attention has made anything clear, I tell you, it's really crazy. You shouldn't be relaxed at all. This isn't just another week in America. This is a week that should shake every single one of us to our core. We're watching our country fracturing in real time. Too many people are either cheering it or looking the other way. So let's talk about it, all of it. A federal invasion on American soil. Let's start with what's happening in Minnesota right now, because what's unfolding there isn't immigration enforcement, it's occupation. Renee Good, a 37-year-old poet, a mother of 3 children, was shot and killed by an ICE agent approximately a week ago. Let that sink in. A poet, a mother, gone. And what has been the federal government's response? No accountability, not an investigation, not justice. Instead, the Trump administration has deployed thousands of federal ICE agents to the Twin Cities. We're talking about a force expected to reach 3,000 officers. That's larger than the combined size of the 10 biggest metro police departments in that region. The Department of Homeland Security is calling this their largest operation in history, with over 2,000 arrests daily. Why? But here's what they're not telling you on Fox News. 6 federal prosecutors in the Minneapolis U.S. Attorney's Office resigned because the Justice Department decided to investigate Renee Good's widow instead of the agent who killed her. What? 5 more senior prosecutors in the DOJ's Civil Rights Division walked out in protest when the department refused to investigate the fatal shooting. That's incredible. Read that again. The people whose job it is to uphold justice are quitting because there is no justice to uphold. Federal agents are using pepper spray, tear gas, and flashbangs on American citizens who simply are trying to witness what's happening in their own neighborhoods. They're smashing car windows, dragging people from their vehicles, and demanding identification from U.S. citizens walking down the street. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison and officials from Minneapolis and St. Paul have called this what it is, a federal invasion. They filed a lawsuit against the federal government. Business activity in some areas has dropped by 80%. Thousands of Somali immigrants face losing their protected status. This is America in January 2026. And this is happening right now, y'all. When those sworn to protect become the threat, another community in mourning. And while we're watching Minnesota burn, let's not forget Keith Porter. Another black life, another name we're forced to learn because someone who is supposed to protect us chose violence instead of. It's just crazy, y'all. They just chose violence instead. Another family destroyed. A side note, his daughter put out a TikTok and a reel yesterday, and I shared it, and she's devastated. She's devastated. How many names do we have to learn? How many hashtags do we have to create? How many times do we have to explain to our children that the people in uniform might see them as a threat simply because of the color of their skin? Officer Ross took Renee Wood from her children. An ICE agent took Renee Good from hers. Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that again. An officer took Renee Good. Officer Ross took Renee Goods from her children. An ICE agent took Renee Good from her. Keith Porter's family is planning a funeral instead of a future. And the system that's supposed to deliver justice is protecting the killers and investigating the victims. I'm tired, y'all. I know you're tired too, but we cannot afford to look away. February 1st, another shutdown, another betrayal. As if all of this wasn't enough, we're staring down another government shutdown, expected to hit on February 1st. And you know who's going to feel it first and feel it worse? Not the politicians, not the billionaires funding the campaigns. It's going to be the people who depend on SNAP benefits to feed their kids, the seniors waiting on Social Security checks, the veterans who need their disability payments, the families relying on Medicaid to keep their loved ones alive. This isn't about fiscal responsibility. This is about a government that has made it abundantly clear whose lives matter and whose don't. They can find money for militarized border operations. They can find money for tax cuts that benefit the wealthy, but somehow there's never enough to make sure grandma can afford her medication or that a single mother can put food on the table. The cruelty is the point. And if you don't see that by now, I don't know what to tell you. The midterms are coming, and they matter more than ever. Here's the thing. We have the power, we have the voice, and we have midterm elections coming up. I know some of you are exhausted. I know some of you feel like your vote doesn't matter, like the system is rigged, like nothing ever changes. I hear you. I feel that too. But let me tell you something. The people who want to keep you down, the people who benefit from your apathy, the people who are orchestrating this chaos, they're counting on you to stay home. Every school board seat, every city, every council race, every state legislature position, these are the building blocks of power. This is where policy is made. This is where our communities are either protected or abandoned. We cannot afford to sit this one out. The stakes are too high. Our lives are literally on the line. Why are they so angry? Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The question I keep getting asked, and I'm asking, why is MAGA so racist and angry? Here's my honest answer. Because rage is easier than reflection. It's easier to blame the immigrants for your economic struggles than to ask why billionaires pay less in taxes than you do. It's easier to hate the other than to reckon with a system that's been exploiting working class people of colors for generations. It's easier to wrap yourself in a flag and call yourself a patriot than to do the actual work of building a just society. Fear is a powerful drug, and there are people, powerful people, who have figured out that if they keep stroking that fear, keep pointing fingers at Black and brown communities, keep manufacturing outrage about wokeness and critical race theory, they can maintain power while picking your pockets. The tragedy is that many MAGA supporters are themselves victims of some of the same economic violence that's devastating our communities. But instead of building solidarity, they've been convinced that we're the enemy. That's not an accident. That's strategy. And it's working. A plea to my people. So here's my plea. To everyone listening, to everyone recording this, don't let them win by making you give up. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay connected to your community. Check on your neighbors, support your local businesses, show up to city council meetings, research your representatives before voting and in their voting records. Hold them accountable. And most importantly, vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. We've survived worse. Our ancestors survived worse, and they didn't make it through so that we could throw it in the towel when things got hard. This is our moment. This is our test. And I truly believe that we are up to the challenge. Relax, relate, release. But first, rise up. Thank you so much for that, y'all. I appreciate you. We'll be right back. At Proteus 420, they provide high-quality services and educational resources to support your growth and help you thrive in the cannabis community. Efficient inventory management ensures you maintain a reliable product supply and avoid stock shortages. Their point-of-sale service tracks sales activity, helping you identify best sellers, top employees, and valuable customers. Stay compliant with built-in reporting, alerting you to the latest state and local regulations. With payment processing, accept payments seamlessly across various methods, including cash and debit. Their customer relation management system builds loyalty, ensuring tailored offerings for repeat business. Proteus 420, empowering your cannabis business for success. All righty, y'all. Hey, yeah, so definitely this has been like an amazing day. As you know, Minneapolis is still going through it, so we need to give them love, show them support. And for Minneapolis, we're not having that in New York, but we really are praying for you and your families. I don't even know what else to say or to do. Um, it's been one of those amazing days where we're seeing in the news all this hell going on, and it's bad. It's bad. So I definitely recommend to everyone that uh, you really focus on supporting every community. I have been going, saying the whole thing. I've been posting Article 2, Section 4, hashtag Article 2, Section 4. And I wanted to tell you all what that is real quick. Um, Article 2, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution outlines the grounds for impeachment, stating that the president, vice president, um, and all civil officers can be removed from the office for conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors, establishing the constitutional basis for holding high officials accountable for serious misconduct. So you can bet your sweet ass that's what you're doing. You'll notice that the podcast has been doing an anti-APAC campaign. I am calling out politicians who accept APAC money and focusing more on democratic socialists or more progressive politicians that understand their community and want to do better. The podcast itself is focusing not just on cannabis, but we're really focusing on the politics, focusing on the people. And I just want to say I am excited to be able to get this started, to get this moving as soon as possible. We want everyone to understand that the podcast is for you, the platform is for you. Come on, come on and get interviewed. We want to be able to talk to people regarding across the spectrum of ideologies and come together in unison to see that we can move forward as a community, a universal community. So that being said, we will be ending the show a little early. I was hoping to have Reverend Henry on a little longer, but due to um, uh, uh, shit beyond her control, I guess she couldn't stay on. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And for those of you, I want to give you real quick. I'm so sorry. I don't have a moderator to check all the chat rooms. I'm looking to be able to bring in someone to do that for me on the podcast. I'm seeing that we're getting a lot of people coming on and asking questions. And I apologize that I could not be able to get to you all today. And that also applies to who is that lady? Are you two? She's in the chat room. I apologize, honey. I apologize to all of you. When doing this, right, you got to be really like multifunctional and this here, that there, this here, share screens, answer questions, and that's impossible. So I will be building a team where I'll probably get a producer and a moderator for the podcast. We have to do it anyway. But in the meantime, thank you for your patience. I do appreciate you on that, for being so patient and bringing to light, your interest. I'm so happy that we're gaining the interest. The analytics is slowly moving up. Again, I also want to say that one more thing, which there we go. No, that one. Okay, one more thing. We do have a GoFundMe going on. We are trying to get to. We are not trying. We need your help in getting to our $50,000 goal in 6 months. The GoFundMe is right there. The OG Papa Dukes. Just go to GoFundMe /u/the OG Papa Dukes, and please help out the Patreon, which is free. Everything is free, but you can also contribute as well. I'm making all the content free anyway for the next year, so everyone can get a feel of the podcast. But we do have the GoFundMe up and running. Also, you're going to start seeing like a lot of fake GoFundMe accounts. You really need to do your research. There were literally almost 16 fake accounts that Officer Ross, for him to build it. One of them had $484,000. And of course, I reported all of them. That man should not be getting any money. He's a murderer and a liar. I will be doing a special on him and on the people that were murdered, and another blog article, which you'll see featured on the ogsocialnetwork.com. Again, I also want to tell you that I've been, very thankful with the podcast, with the people around me. I do hope to be able to introduce new sponsors. One of them I don't want to talk about yet, but I'm using their app right now, and it's amazing. I will give you all about 60 days my view of it and seek their sponsorship. Fuck yeah, because they're amazing. And it's helped me with my work. But right now, let me just see how it works. Again, I want to thank you all for joining the show today. Apologize for the short interview with Gerlyn. Thank you for listening to me on the op-ed. We do have that new season coming up on Partyful. The OG Social Network will be featuring, we'll be having a special podcast at Silk Road, January 22nd at 6 o'clock, 166-30 Jamaica Avenue. I will be chilling. Let's see. As a matter of fact, I should have brought that up. What the hell am I doing? Hold on, y'all. Oh, nope, that's not it. But like, I will be having a special day with Sohan and the staff at Silk Road. We have a special interview with Megan O'Malley of Bake Sales Sessions podcast. Lola Bastinano from Brooklyn Botanist will be online. I have special guests coming in, friends. It's going to be live, and I just want to show you some love. It starts at 6 o'clock, and I want to thank you all so much for joining us and bringing everything together to make this happen, because I can't do this without you. So I really enjoy being with you all and doing podcasts. Again, thank you so much. I do want to give a big shout out again to Sohan, and he's a great guy. One of the better people in the community. I'll be doing a special feature with him. His article is on the OGSocialNetwork.com as well. I will have more articles up and running. You definitely want to meet up with him and listen and talk about his life and how he got to where he is today. God bless him. And I think his father was honored by the community Democratic Party there. So that was amazing. Again, thank you all so much. I appreciate you for coming on and bringing your love and listening to me. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. That was my sister. I got to play that. I got to get the other one on too. There's another one. But again, God bless you all. Have a great day. And remember to relax, relate, and release. I'll see you on January 22nd. We'll be live at Silk Road and High Function Event Space. Peace and cannabis. Enjoy. Stay safe.